Okay, well, today I couldn't figure out what I wanted to play, but Endless Space 2's free weekend is going on until Monday? Monday, I think. So I figured why not play this because there's an ongoing community event for a certain number of hours played, new things will be unlocked. It's all mostly superficial stuff, but I thought it was pretty neat. So yeah. Um, just make sure everything's up and running correctly. Do. Whap. Close. I know this is exhilarating. Right now, go to dashboard. This is really the loudest it gets, huh? Okay. Well, that's mildly disappointing. Oh, that might be why. Oh, who do I want to play as? I should have figured this out. United Empire's fun. I think Sophons are probably... No. Riftborn are my favorite. They are... Oh, it'll show an intro, yeah. Do. Riftborn were not in the original English space, which is probably why they're the most interesting to me so far. Unfallen. I do not recognize that. Oh, they're the tree people. They were also new. Tree people were pretty fun and interesting to play. They have weird root mechanics that you have to connect your systems and they can colonize things really easily. They're fun, a little slow paced, but they have a really good game feel to them. Riftborn also have a really sweet, unique identity. Horatio are kind of funny. I think I liked Horatio more in the original game, just like a cult of personality, really strange civilization. The United Empire is still pretty 40k and grimdark. Like, making the Emperor Russian doesn't really make the faction all that different from the tropes that it falls into, though with a human faction it's pretty hard to do that. The Vogiani, I haven't really played with at all. Their whole deal is they have a unique ship that they use to colonize and move around, and you only ever have one of them at a time. It's a neat idea, but it hasn't really appealed to me that much. Lumeris I haven't played too much with. Cravers are, I think, much prettier than the original. Still, the whole like constantly at war with everything cliche. Sophons are better now that they are more than just big-headed nerds. Now they're big-headed nerds that like blowing stuff up. Add some better character to it, I think. Yeah, fuck it, Riftborn. Everything's randomized. Competitors 12, all random. Speed normal. Game difficulty normal. Watts, oh, normal. Galaxy shape random. Twin ellipticals interesting. Making the galaxy too large actually stretches it out a bit much. I think large is fine. Let's random density is just now. Let's make it high density. Unique constellation. Go into advanced options here. Normal age. Low connectivity on nodes, so this will make it harder to get around, make more choke points. Star and planet base order. Meh. Empire spawn method. Chaotic. Normal. High. Yeah. Cool. So, let's hop into this. And after you're done loading, The art assets for Amplitude Studios games, including the audio assets, are just amazing. Muy bueno. I think you should start talking at me soon with an intro. Game launched and ready.
This unlucky people have come because a rift in the fabric between the universes threatens their existence. Things look bleak, hopeless even. In desperation, the Communion has sent an advance party through the rift into this terrifying galaxy with one goal: saving the Riftborn civilization. You lead the party, and the weight of the survival of your people rests upon your decisions. Go with strength and with hope. Failure
I have to mute you.
an option.
So, cell phone notifications aside, one of the things that makes Amplitude Studios games so great is just the sense of immersion that they accomplish. That was kind of laboriously slow how long you talk through that, but it does set a good pacing. And if you're hearing the audio in the background well, which I hope that you are, the music starts out very calm. So let's start out by choosing technology to research. Rare forms, colonization tech, xenolinguistics is useful. I actually don't want that. I forget how to unselect things. Do I just click on it again? No. Shift click? Yeah, shift click. Man, it has been so long. So, Riftborn, their whole deal, well, part of their deal, is that their population don't grow normally. You have to, as I recall, build more population. So they have a very slow start, but they can colonize just about everything. The less habitable a planet is, the happier they tend to be, I think, if I'm remembering that correctly. So I'm going to start out with xenolinguistics, because xeno-industrial infrastructure gives industry and titanium refineries, okay? But the industry is really what I'm wanting to gun for at the beginning, to help get population construction faster and faster and faster, because this eats up more time than anything else, is this civilization. Now, it used to be to explore or survey a system that you would just research survey missions on a planet. Now, instead of that, and this game has been out for a while, but it's such an improvement on the original, you have... Is this a survey fleet? Is this a survey? This is a survey fleet. You have the ability to use probes, which are a respawning resource every few turns or so, to conduct missions, which is a bit more micro-intensive, but it's fun. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Worthless for me. Food does absolutely nothing for the Riftborn, as you're robots that don't need to eat at all. You're not really robots, but you do have artificial bodies. You're weird extra-dimensional beings in robot bodies. And all about that. So cool. I could use this colony ship that I have here just to settle one of these two planets. Might not be a terrible idea to get construction started out, but because I have it, I'm going to send one ship up that way, the other survey ship down there. Oh, right. Heroes are a big part of this game. I'm going to assign this dude to our capital system, because he will boost the... You being a senator doesn't do anything, Riftborn doesn't do anything. Overseer, hold on, let's inspect him. Right now, doesn't really do much of anything, but once they start leveling up, on system they provide bonus science, but they should start adding like more bonus industry, bonus resources, bonus pretty much everything, bonus industry, etc., etc. So you can build them to be a huge boon to the system that they're in, which is kind of the goal. And new luxury resource I don't care about. I think we are... Oh yeah, the alternate map views are very, very cool. Not super useful early on, and I love this. This is a really nice touch. So you'll notice I'm zoomed in pretty far here. Zoom into a system, this alternate mode will show you awesome breakdown charts of the planet's output. You zoom out a little further, it shows you a summary for the system, which reads pretty clearly. You read further out than that, then it's comparative blobs of systems next to each other. You go even further out, and then it just breaks into showing trade relations and diplomatic relations between planetary systems at a glance. So you don't have to like hop into a diplomatic menu to figure everything out. It just shows it to you. And then, yeah. You go even further out and it's just diplomatic. This is such a subtle change, but it's very well done. Is space not the hotkey to end next turn? What? Okay, I'll just click it. So, what do we got? Eridanus. This is a cool thing it does whenever you discover a new system, although it always does it when you discover a new system, and it gets a little repetitive after a while. It gives this very cool sci-fi summary of a system. But it can be a little time consuming, I imagine, especially in multiplayer games. That might be a bit of a turn-off. Now let's see, none of these had exceptional industrial potential, so I'm going to hold out for either a system with a lot of planets or a planet with some crazy industrial potential, so I can just start growing population very quickly. There are people out there, needless to say, much better at this game than I am, but still fun. I still want to play it, so I'm going to stream it while I do. Oh, tree guys. The Unfallen told Yule were that they were a species of not yet sentient tree folk, or like a planetary intelligence based on a root network, tree network. Some dust, which are micro machines, fell to the planet, infected them, and gave them true sentience, I think. They're neat, either way. Where the hell were you guys? Is this you? Okay, so they must be like right here. Yeah? Now, instead of sending this ship over, I could just grab a probe and launch it in this direction, which is generally a good idea if you want to be careful, but I think it's more fun just to send the ship. So, Xenolinguistics is done, and you get these very cute little summaries. Whether you wish to make trade, research, wage war, or have peaceful relations with aliens, their communications must first be studied and conversation brought to a higher level than merely dropping prepositions and speaking more loudly. Suggested technology to research, nah. Can I... Hold on. Can I actually... Yeah. Can I even talk with them? Diplomacy with minor civilizations. Oh, I haven't found one yet. Approval will become important. This will never be important for us. Brie Analyzer, nah. Colonize arid world, maybe, but probably not. Now, hold on, we should have Empire summary, Senate screen, diplomacy screen, text screen. Quests and events. You have not received any quests. Really? Oh, because I probably haven't landed the colony ship yet. Alright, that's fine. So, galactic commodities does not move us in a very industry direction. What I want... We first have 3 unique star system improvements. Yeah, but like... Are they really this far ahead? Okay, so let's do this because approval's always nice, even if it's not immediately useful. Yeah, okay. In ancient world, its origin lost to the mists of times, Koyasil's entire landmass is now one vast primeval forest. How long ago the Unfallen rose from the gloomy, silent woodlands is uncertain, but most historians who have studied the species of the galaxy place them as one of the oldest. In the depths of the forest, a sense of timelessness reigns supreme. It's said a fallen tree will lay undisturbed for millennia, its very fabric becoming another layer of the forest. The unfallen strive for little, content in their ageless world. But the stirrings of younger races across the galaxy have awoken something in Koyasil, something ancient, mysterious, and powerful. Thematically, I think they've replaced the amoeba, who are still in the game. The amoeba's whole deal was kind of vague. But what made the amoeba really cool is you would start off every game with everything mapped, which is admittedly a little overpowered. Now, I am gonna just click through this. Nope. Are you? Nope. Are you worthwhile? No. Again, none of these have had good industry, and although I can colonize them, I'm going to not colonize them. I'm probably not performing as effectively as I could. Because they're here, I'm just not going to explore anymore in that direction. I'm hopefully going to expand in this direction and be able to leave them the hell alone. Probably not, but that's what I'm hoping for anyway. Pending objective choice. This universe is utterly unlike our own. Burning orbs of fire, scarred balls of rock hanging in the void, vast realms of nothingness. Empty, pitiless, terrifying. Some of the worlds are even more than barren, airless rocks. Cloaked in dirt that seems fertile ground for tenacious foliage forms, they choke on the surface and deny the light. Strange things stalk and shuffle and slither through the undergrowth. We were fortunate to avoid settling on such a world. Our world, the world we name Vanguard, on account of us being the spearhead, is a white wilderness broken only by still and silent forests, icy brooks, and perpetual gray skies. In its nearly ceaseless white embrace, where the sky can sometimes be mistaken for the land, it is reminiscent of the homeland. But if you look closer, it cannot hide its grotesqueness. Things scurry under the snow, others open dark wings among the shadows, chilly waters crash and shriek against rocks. Worst of all, bursts of color sometimes burst forth unexpectedly. Sunlight on fish scales, winter meadows blooming with flowers, sweeping curtains of green and purple light in the starry night. No words can do the horror justice. My forces suffer, but they are resolute. Their suffering is nothing as next to the plague that spreads through the homeland Koros. Every message from the Communion speaks of the blight growing, more and more of the world becoming dead and blackened. There are many paths we might follow to end this nightmare. Even in the little time I have spent on this world, I begin to form my own ideas for what is best, but I am merely an instrument of the Communion, for now, faithfully relaying the situation here to the best of my ability. They decide, I await the orders. So do I want to explore 5 curiosities with a hero of level 3 or higher? That would take a long time, given that I'm not using a hero to explore. What would this give me? Don't know. Strength, 9 system improvements, 50 points in relations with 2 minor civilizations. Oh, the rewards are down here. I'm blind. All super spuds. I'm gonna go with strengthen because this is something that doesn't depend on having nearby minor civilizations or me deciding to hire a hero for the survey fleet, so that one's actually doable. Here in this universe, we are far from our homeland, our kin, our strength. For now, we're vulnerable to the monsters that lurk out there in the void. We must build a world that will become a fortress. Good start, right? Fortress World, talking about how horrible this universe is. Definitely the heroes of this setting, not at all twisted in any way. Yeah. Asteroid fields and a few other anomalies like this are things now. So rather than directly colonizing them, you instead have to get your cultural influence, these little bubbles, to overtake them. And when you do, you get certain bonuses. In this case, you would get. I can't gesture at it with the mouse. 50 bonus industry on system, which is really good. And some other stuff. Yeah. So maybe there's something down here. Maybe not. Now, I don't think, and I may be wrong about this. Dust windfall. What does this do? 15% of industry spent for any construction converted to dust at the end. That's neat. I like that. So there are laws that you can pass. Basically, they require an upkeep of influence, and they do neat little things. Let's see. More dust. No. This is interesting. Now, if I'm reading this correctly, you get 3 food per population on a planet with an anomaly, which is worthless for me. And I get plus 10% bonus to everything from anomalies on colonized planets and systems. So this isn't immediately useful, but I think it'll become useful in the long term. The only problem with this is the Green Fertility Bill is an ecologist bill, not an industrialist bill. And my current leading faction are the industrialists. So while I am going to pass this and put it into effect, it will start boosting the popularity of the ecologist party. Now, there are elections every once in a while depending on your government type, and I can change the government type. I'm not going to. We can see how they've started changing over time here. This will probably start taking off. This might even out. I don't know what's going on with these, but this is a really cool background system. Anyway, I was talking about hero management. I think you hire new heroes through the marketplace. Yeah, but I don't have that yet. Hero leveled up. So, like I said, once they level up, you can start doing stuff with them. I'm going to be pretty boring with how I'm building this person. Going to make them a mechanical genius just to keep building up the industry stat, because that'll make our population grow faster, and our population will let us do everything. Oh, yeah, talked about the amoeba earlier. These used to be a major civilization. They're not anymore. So they're in the Heidel system. Even if this weren't colonized, that's... I hate that I would settle for a low industry planet at this point. Now, I think I can talk to them. No, I haven't got that. So, next tech, I'll go ahead and cue this now, that I'll want is... Oh, I'm already doing this, and this will let me conduct diplomacy with minor races anyway. Smart Alex. Smart. I guess I'll queue up rare earth forms. Planetary landscaping I never, ever want. Not until I get other species besides Riftborn in my empire. Okay, our first population is done. Now this is taking a very, very long time, and the reason I'm doing it, if we cover here, so the Epistis, whatever, you can see their bonuses. They give bonus food on sterile worlds, they give 1 bonus industry. They're okay, but if we look at Riftborn give bonus, that gold symbol is dust, which is money, bonus science, and bonus industry. They're ridiculously good. I could build a drone network, which would give 10 industry, or cerebral reality, or I could build other things, but for the time being, it almost seems better just to build population. And then maybe spam industry later. I know you could math it out to actually figure out what exactly would be more precise, but not really what I'm going for right now. A host of incremental breakthroughs in trade agreements, cultural translation, and the handling of xenofoods, together given the umbrella term off-road agribusiness, permits diverse types of growth in nutrition, fuel, and material sciences. What this lets us do is start making friends with the amoeba. Once you do, you can eventually incorporate them into your empire. Indirect descendants of a group of concrete endlists, the amoeba devolved into primitive protoplasmic life forms and lost all their prior knowledge before re-evolving into a unique species with a special relationship to dust. Blessed or cursed with the ability to detach their consciousness from their physical form and create subgroup gestalts, the amoeba developed a strong ecological mindset and always striving for harmony and balance. Always striving for harmony and balance. Their goal is to travel, meet, and learn, though their relatively defenseless natural form has bred into them the need to master the physical environment. Now they're cool. But their population effect is just food, which, as I was talking about before, doesn't do me any good. It helps them, but not crazy about it. Finally, you've hit this system, but I guess we've... Oh, maybe I haven't surveyed the things in here. Maybe the, yeah, I think they've been surveyed by the... Why can I not remember what your civilization is called? These folks. The Unfallen. My god. I get it, because it's a tree that hasn't fallen, right? It is pretty memorable. Don't know why I can't remember it at all. Da, da, da. Scarce and difficult to manipulate, Riftborn scientists are often fascinated by rare earth metals, which are critical to many advanced technologies. The ability to create viable metallic forms from these unusual metals gives a boost to cutting-edge astrotechnology. Well, that would let us colonize arid worlds, if I cared about them. Yeah, it's suggesting I research military tech, but the Unbound, in my experience, aren't really unbound. God damn it. The Unfallen are not that aggressive, so I don't think they'll actually be an issue. What I think I'll go for is some dust tech to give that sweet, sweet money. And yeah, I'm just gonna do that at first. This is not a great start. I probably should not have picked out the random start that I did. Normally the starts are a lot more balanced and less chaotic than like, ooh, I like that. Eh. Eh. Damn it. Good science, though. Barren, also good science, but bad industry. And Barren, where are my lava planets at? Where are the jungle and lava planets that I so desperately want? Okay, let's start exploring, despite me being notably dissatisfied at this. Let's check this out. So I got 25 influence for that. That's cool. Now, the bonuses for exploring normally aren't all that amazing, but they're enough incentive to keep exploring, right? You would rather have these resources than not have them. What? Reavers. Oh. Right, pirates are in this game. I totally forgot about that. Well, okay. Um, That's why it was suggesting I research actual weapons and ships technologies rather than just hardlining industry. Well, fair enough, game. Fair enough. I guess I'll get around to doing that then. Anything in wars? Ash is pretty good. I'd probably settle for this, actually. Ash, awesome. Arid, okay. Gas, pretty okay. Now, I don't think that I can colonize these yet. Can I? Hold on. Oh. I sent my survey ship there instead of the colony ship. That would explain why I couldn't colonize it. I am definitely going to colonize this system. So let's just keep surveying this system, picking up those sweet, pretty minor stuff. Oh, well, actually, sometimes you'll get technologies like this, and it won't be a waste of time. So this saves me on researching one of the techs I didn't want to research. The weapons techs are really worthwhile, but So now I'm going to colonize the rest of the system, which will open up these worlds to have population built on them. And you can see by these little marks that the population on here and on here greatly outnumber the population that we already have, meaning that I can just keep spamming that beautiful machine embodiment button. Yeah. I just love how pretty the music is. And this is probably a bad thing for commentary, that it's just like, oh, it's so pretty. Ooh, oh, this has a tree of worlds on it. Yeah, not great for me because I don't need food, but the approval bonus is nice. Hadopelagic. Hadopelagic life is, again, pretty nice for most civilizations. The Riftborn are really weird in that they don't need food. Behemoth song. This strange planet emits a natural sound of magnetic waves that imitate musical frequencies. The melodies can only be heard by ships in orbit with all electronics powered off. Their poignant beauty is said to be overwhelming. That sounds terrifying. So I don't know what this is. It's probably fine. All the same, I'm going to settle on the tiny ash, just to be safe, just in case this is a Malist. Now when you land, you get cool little pop-ups like this that show your ship flying in and your colony setting up. Now these look different depending on the type of world. Oh yeah. Oh no. I've been playing this race all wrong. So yeah, the Riftborn. Damn it. The Riftborn get things called singularities that make them special, that they're able to deploy. They can either deploy friendly singularities, compression singularities, that make heroes level up faster, resources deplete slower, and you get a massive bonus to pretty much everything. Also makes your ship better. Or you can get a dilation field, which does the exact opposite. It basically just hurts enemy planets. What I should have been doing, because you can have 3 of these active at any point, I should have started building those from the get-go. Okay. Well, that's embarrassing. So I was about to say, oh, we can use these to speed up development of the outpost, but I actually need to be hanging on to all the titanium I get so I can make more make more Yep. Yep. God, I'm an idiot. I almost want to start over now. I'm not going to, but... For Riftborn to handle the speed and complexity of a starbound economy, a firm grasp of the latest non-Corrosian management techniques are required. Corrosian? That's... okay. One of these uses multiple workers toiling in parallel on the same logistics and procurement tasks, handling multiple concurrent issues in real time. Man, I don't remember these descriptions being unique for each race. As recovered probes. Yeah, good. So, now that the singularity is set up, we just click on the system, and then it gets this awesome little bubble around it. So the hero here will level up faster, things will get built faster, I'll get income more. I'm so stupid for forgetting that. Well, oh well, it happens. Nothing. Oh. It's not going great. Thank God I didn't pick a higher difficulty. It's been a while since I played this game. Okay. I'm not crazy. There is a hotkey for this. Control. X turn. X turn. X turn. There isn't anymore? Huh. Maybe I'm just thinking of Civilization. I might be. Cooperative quest started. So sometimes you'll get quests that affect every civilization in the game. Cooperative quests are, as the name implies, quests where you cooperate, work together to try to accomplish a bigger goal. So this is to explore atmospheric curiosities. There are also competitive quests, so this will reward whoever contributes to it the most. There are heroes, and there are heroes. Legends of prowess, familiar to all, yet witnessed by none. The heroes of these tall tales are a dime a dozen. But in the leaders you've met, and in the murmurs of your crews and colleagues, there are stories of other heroes, living heroes, whose actions and efforts have changed the course of battles and bureaucracies, whose actions and decisions... Actions and efforts, actions and decisions. Huh. Weird writing choice. Have been pivotal in the rise and fall of empires. And when one speaks of these heroes, masters of dust, and its vast powers, one also speaks of the place where they studied, where they learned these feats of strength and genius. Sometimes the text in here is kind of obvious. It's been translated to English with... Hold on, I may be wrong about this. I'm pretty sure Amplitude Studios is a French company, right? Yeah. They're based in Paris. And so I'm assuming the writing is originally done in French and translated, very well translated, but some of the pacing fits weird in English. Like the words fit together strangely. That's all. Not bad, but like the whole saying whose actions and efforts, whose actions and decisions. Saying actions twice like that in English is generally frowned upon as being too repetitive and redundant, but I don't know if the same sort of thing carries in other languages. That's why I was stumbling over that. And some of the phrasing in here, it's easy to read in your head, but when you read it aloud, it does sound a little clunky. Whatever. It is simply referred to as the Academy. Some seem to present it as a center of higher learning, while others mention it in tones more suitable to worship and epiphany. It would be good to know the truth of all this. It would be good to know if your ships were the first to make formal contact with it. No, not good to know. It would be good to know the truth of all this. It would be good if your ships were the first to make contact with it and meet its leader shrouded in mystery. I don't know if that holds up grammar-wise. It would be good to know the truth of all this. Probably period rather than semicolon. New sentence, it would be good if your ships were the first to make formal contact with it and meet its leader shrouded in mystery. It's good, it's fine, it just... probably just me, but that doesn't seem to be the most well-written sentence. The structure is strange. So we need atmospheric anomalies. We have 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. So, oh, and you have some probes, so let's start doing those. I should have remembered that I shouldn't have been researching these until this quest procced. So I got some science, but that's not what's important. What is important is that we are contributing to that collective mission, and hopefully trying to get the bigger prize on it. So he leveled up. We're just getting more industry, again, from 15 to 30. Oh, if I were smarter, man, I would have done that a while ago. Anywho, these are all set up now. So I'm going to build... Okay. How long do these take? 2 turns each? How long does this take? Yeah, okay, it is worth it to... For point up with strategic resources. Yeah. Going to build drone networks, xeno-industrial infrastructure. Maybe I should have started out with these to boost our our industry up even more. That is a silly big number in comparison to food. And then just keep pumping out more people. Not the most exciting thing, but, you know, if it works. Construction complete. I swear to God, it used to be the enter key. Otherwise, maybe I'm misremembering. So, construction's done on drone networks. Technology's been unlocked. Oh, okay. By completing Astrofinance, we unlock this. Yeah, Astrofinance gives us dust, but we're not really lacking in money right now, so I'm not actually going to build any of these. I'm just going to queue up... What am I going to queue up? Spin project? Could be nice. Let's see. First tier... Oh, right. I was saying... Aha, we don't need ships. And then... Pirates. And now I'm like, oh... Maybe ships not so bad. So let's do that. Jesus, that went fast. Okay, this is already over. And I did not get a great reward. So because there's so many other civilizations out there, you see the breakdown of this? Wait. Oh, okay. So there's potentially it over here. It here? Or it up here. Hold on. Oh, I'm reading these in the wrong order again. Okay, because we tied for first with 5 other people, because we each explored 1 atmospheric curiosity each, we each got the first place prize, which is dust, which is nice, influence, which is pretty nice, Hyperion, which is, again, pretty nice. Nothing crazy. Right. Cross-referencing signal information and known hero movement indicates that the Academy is likely in one of 3 systems. It's time to find out where exactly it is and meet the Poisson. Puissant? Puissant? Puissant. Puissant. Huh. Meet the Puissant being who founded it ages ago. There we go. And no one is even sure of the origin of the being that founded the Academy. Whether they're human, endless alien, or some unknown form. Some other unknown form is how I would... I need to get out of my editor headspace. All stories agree, however, that any being touched by dust who finds the secretive place and survives its rigors emerges deeply changed and greatly enhanced. A visit, a word with the leader, an understanding of why the Academy exists and what purpose it serves. There are many mysteries surrounding the Academy, and claiming it is either a place of research into dust or a profitable services business seems somehow a bit glib. Claiming it is either a place of research into dust or a profitable services business seems somehow a bit glib. I mean, I guess that's technically correct grammar, but that just, the syntax is very strange. Sorry. I'm like, I need to stop doing this. Continues doing it. Again, these did not occur to me. These little curiosities did not occur to me when I was playing this and reading it in my head to myself. So, the atmosphere of this planet has a strange psychotropic effect when inhaled. The sweet vapor seems to allow the subject to see exactly 4 seconds into the future. Perhaps a concentrated dose might do even more. So it gives better fleet range, which is okay, but not actually all that useful, because I'm just going to keep them here and keep researching stuff. Yeah. I should possibly consider building ships. Okay, so let's talk about shipbuilding. So first thing you would do is pick out a hull. However, mine are both terrible. I have a colonizer hull and a explorer hull right now, which is why I am researching. You don't give me new hulls. New hulls are down here, aren't they? I should remember how to do this. Anyway, I'm trying to research new hulls so I can put guns on them. This was always a weird, unintuitive thing. So up here is like the military section, and you would research weapons up here. And down here is the science and exploration section. But it's actually technologies in here in the older game that would unlock new ships, which kind of sort of made sense. But when the bonuses those ships got were to like the amount of weapons they could hold on them, or it makes certain weapons better, it read very strangely. Now, oh, they're up here. Again, Empire Development, I think, is probably a weird place to put this, but here they are. Yeah, okay. So once these are finished, we'll go ahead and get efficient shielding, which will give us new ship classes. I really feel like this should have been integrated into this. Some of these should have just been merged together and this been expanded upon, but whatever. The game's been wildly successful so far, so the opinions of an amateur game designer do not matter very much in that respect. Or in any respect, I guess. But yeah, so we got some bunkers, which I'll never use. Got some of these, which I'm never going to use. Well, probably never going to use. I'm going to use if things go really wrong. This is the thing about English Space, is a lot of the military structures you can build, particularly because of the upkeep, just never, ever seem worth it to me unless it's a frontline system. And then the systems basically forfeit anyway. Oh, okay, here's the election system I was talking about earlier, which is one of the things I really, really love about this game. I don't know if it's actually simulated super well, but it does look cool and it feels fucking cool, which is what's important. So you can just have a normal election, you can have some primaries where you rig them. Not rig them, it just brings more attention to your selected party, which would get the vote out more, or you can lobby, or you can just practice pretty real democracy. But then click next step, because I'm not going to fix it, and then every system, colonized system, will show their vote breakdown. And because I only have one, this is a very boring breakdown so far, but this shows that we mostly have industrialists. We have some of these two as well, but that's it. And the pacifists are functional. I don't think they're functional. There's only one person that, whatever. So being at a different, being more experienced allows different laws. Not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. So, you know, not the most productive time. Oh, Lore's finally finished construction. Cool. So, learning from past mistakes. This would take 3 turns to give us 10 industry. Whereas, just building new population would take us 3 turns to get 5 industry. So this is twice as fast. Now this would take us 6 turns to get 10 industry. So this is not actually more efficient than building... Oh, I can only build one of them anyway. Well, 1 machine population. So I'll build that machine population, then the Xeno-industrial infrastructure. And do we have strategic deposits on this planet? I don't think so. Might still be worth it to build that. Though, frankly, it might just be better to colonize. Let's just do the first 2 and come back to it. Okay, I want to keep surveying this, but because one of the maybe academy systems is right here, I'm just going to go up and explore that. I'm willing to bet it's not up there. Oh, laws canceled? Oh, because the ecologists aren't in power anymore, so we lost the green fertility bill, which is not a huge deal, but I did like that tiny bonus to everything. Mintaka definitely does not look like our system. Desert, savanna, monsoon. And it looks like a dead end. It might not be a dead end, but it looks like a dead end. If it's a dead end, that's kind of mixed bag. Previously thought to be a practical impossibility, recent advances in shielding technology permit more than 2 bodies to be involved in a fusion reaction. This opens up the door to enormous leaps in energy production. Cool, but the tech gives us chain game programs and impervious bunkers, neither of which really, to me, seem related in any way to the flavor text here. I don't know. Ooh, okay, so this shows that there's a civilization right here. I'm curious enough that I'm just going to send a probe in that direction to meet them. The Ambler. Profitable exploitations. Let's take a look at them. So they would give +2 industry on sterile planets. Now most of my planets are sterile or near sterile, and they also give +1 dust. The Ambler, a quiet race that is yet to make their mark on the galaxy, little known despite the infamy of their most famous citizen, X. Okay. They appear to be descended from a species of marine reptile. The Ambler's homeworld is a humid, swampy planet where the society's most sophisticated cities are algae mega-platforms that drift across the quaggy expanses. Sounds kind of peaceful. With abundant seaweed crops providing for the majority of their diet, as well as reserves of biofuel, the Ambler civilization is a boringly harmonious one focused on progress and prosperity for all. Not bad. Yeah, okay. I can see it not being exciting. Dependable, predictable, and placid, it is unsurprising that X made a break for the stars. I'm assuming X is a faction hero that you can hire. Otherwise, that doesn't make much sense. I'm going to contact them. Let's praise them and see. This will show how much it'll help out our relationship. If I keep pressing this button, it'll get higher and higher. If you get close enough relationship, they'll start sharing resources with you, which is why it's worth it to make friends with them. You can eventually just straight up annex them into your civilization, but oh yeah, sometimes there are unique improvements that you can unlock through surveying. In this case, the analytical engine. +1 dust on system per curiosity event, or per curiosity discovered. Not much, but it's nice. Let's have you wait until we get more probes. Oh, E has leveled up. Yeah, more industry. Building more population. Military ship prices decrease. Well, that'd be great if I were in the market for military ships, but I don't have the right chassis for them. They're currently... I am not familiar with this mechanic. This seems like the longer you leave a pirate base, the stronger it gets, which is so interesting. I'm not a fan because that means I have to deal with it, but it is a very creative idea. Dark Wardens, yeah. So it looks like we have enough to build another compression singularity, so let's pop that up to the top there. As Lord knows, that's the bread and butter of this civilization, and the fact that I forgot it is embarrassing. Oh well. This game is very, very laid back, and I feel bad talking because of just how chill and relaxed and calm the music is most of the time. This is very much a sit down and 8 hours disappear kind of game. Oh, thank you. Helpful reminder. So that singularity finished, so we'll plop it back on. They run out every 10 turns? Yeah, so you have to keep rebuilding them. So hopefully your titanium income offsets that. Mine does not fully right now. Because we're now neutral, or cordial. Cordial? Not yet friendly, but not still neutral with this civilization. They give us some of their income. Not much, but let's see. Yeah, so I get a little bit of dust, a little bit of manpower, which we haven't run into yet, and a little bit of science. Better than not having it. I'm gonna go praise the amoeba, because the amoeba already like us enough because we've been peaceful for a long time. This is saying that it's getting better over time. Most minor civilizations will just like you if they're aware of you and you haven't invaded them. It's a pretty low bar, but yeah. Yes. Pinch beam. I think this is slightly better than default beam type. I feel like exploration was done really well in the system, but I still think that Stellaris did it better. Because it feels laborious, honestly. You shouldn't have to sit around with a ship in a system turn after turn after turn after turn sending out probes. You should be able to just scan a system all at once, and it take a certain amount of turns to scan the entire system. Like, have a command where you can just commit it to scanning everything in that system, rather than this stupid cat and mouse game I'm playing with sweep, scan, sweep, probe, sweep, probe. It's fun and enjoyable, and the aesthetic of this is just amazing, but that seems like it could have used some work. So we're done in here, so I'm going to colonize the... Jesus Christ. Oh, 3 turns. I could just make it happen immediately for 600. I am not going to do that. I thought that meant 600 turns at first. Like, oh, this is an annoying thing. A very annoying thing that happens with the Riftborn. So, because part of your population, by default, are not Riftborn, and their population will grow over time, when you set aside a job to build machine embodiments for your people, sometimes one of these people will just grow a new population, making it so the game doesn't think there's enough room. And rather than going through the whole build queue and just canceling or pausing the last one, it pauses the entire build queue. I was actually hoping this was a bug they dealt with, because this means you have to micromanage your planets. Basically, every turn doing this quick little scan over that I'm doing. And when a game is hundreds or thousands of turns long, that time builds up pretty substantially. I know I'm doing a lot of critiquing and criticizing of this game, but that just means that it's a good product and I care about it and I want it to be better. If I didn't care about it, if it weren't good, if it weren't worth thinking about and analyzing, then I wouldn't be playing it in the first place. Now, I'm gonna start doing a really lazy thing. No, I'm not. Honestly, the text system reads so laboriously, like you have to hover every single time and compare things, that when I start hitting a good stride in a game, I'll just queue up everything in a very specific build order and just leave it to it. And the lack of variation makes it so that that build order is valid and correct every single time. So if you are interested in playing this game, particularly playing it well versus difficult AI or versus, say, people on multiplayer, you should definitely look up build orders and build queues, just like in any other turn-based strategy game like Civilization, before you play. And that's honestly one of the biggest things that turned me off to this game, is it feels like there's a right way and a best way to do everything that's very inflexible from game to game, and that might just be a lack of understanding on my part, and that's very likely. But yeah. The card system in Stellaris is frustrating and not the most sensible thing sometimes, but I feel like it's still more fun than knowing exactly how things are going to go as soon as you start the game. Though I'm aware that might be an unpopular opinion. Now, a way I could have offset this would be setting the game speed to higher. May have been a good idea, but we are past that. And I've taken so long that pirates have decided to come for a visit. They are hanging out in the Eridanos system and going home? They're not coming to hang out? Weird, alright. So the reason I haven't spent dust on anything is because I want to. Phantom, I don't want these default ships. Get rid of the Phantom. Get rid of the Cypher. The game is nice in that it will auto create designs for you, but ship design is fun. So you'll have different hull classes. And each hull class will have a different thing going on, like different roles assigned to it. Like natural class here is an attacker, whereas a rational class is a protector. What that means specifically is they will use different AI or targeting algorithms in what they attack, what they don't attack, how they go about performing when you hop into battle. Truthfully, I think focusing on the offensive is, until late game, until ships start becoming really expensive and you want to start defending them, that just going all out is pretty satisfying. Now when you build a ship, you'll have these different, now I'm clicking up here and you're seeing different circles being highlighted on the ship below, different modules that can only fit in certain places. So let's start out by putting some guns on this. Now we have kinetic weapons, laser weapons, beam weapons, and missiles. Each of them have different effectivenesses at different ranges. You see, a beam weapon is pretty okay at every range. Missiles are really good at long range, terrible up close. Kinetic weapons are great up close, terrible at long range, etc. So there's a mini game here, if you will, trying to figure out how to build your ships. Because I am wanting to show off how all the different weapons look. For this first ship, I'm not going to specialize at all, which is terrible. You definitely want to specialize. Now, you get different types of defenses. You get health, which is just nice, and this gives a bonus. Armor will give a bonus against kinetic weapons, and shields will give a bonus against energy weapons. I can't remember if anything just eats right through shields, so I think shields in general are a better idea, and I may be way, way off on that. Now here we have support modules. So this would make it so that the ships self-repair after battle and get a health bonus. This makes them faster, and this would give them manpower, which is not a thing I think we need to worry about right now. Huh. I was not aware that manpower gave you damage bonus when full. So that might actually be it might actually be nice. This does read weirdly though. It says damages additional manpower rather than special additional manpower. This reads as if it does additional manpower damage, but as we're putting this on, we can clearly see that it doesn't. And 50 HP is nice, but I think actually being able to get places is a lot nicer. So this is Terrible Mark 1, named because you really should try to specialize or at least commit to one weapon type or one strategy rather than just, I'm gonna put one of everything on it. But for the sake of demonstrating them, I can only build one. Wow. Okay. Alright. This is a terrible start. I've not been playing well at all. And I've just been shit-talking the game the entire time, even though I wanted to point out what a fun game it is and what a relaxing time it is. And I stand by that, but I think my criticism might just be coming from a place of this isn't the most active game. It's pretty laid back and it's pretty quiet and it's... yeah. Doesn't seem like it would make the most thrilling viewing content. But because it's on its free weekend, I still wanted to harp on about the game a little bit. Rip-boring construction of high-energy particle accelerator with energy measured in peta-electron volts requires highly advanced engineering, science, materials, and an inversion of Corrosian physics. Without this type of machine, explorations deeper into subquantum mechanics would not be possible. And this matches pretty well, because these two give science. And this is talking about scientific breakthroughs. I don't understand how a better understanding of quantum mechanics makes it possible to colonize a Mediterranean world when you are in artificial bodies that don't really care where they are. Yeah, having the same tech tree for everyone and the same sort of rules that everyone operates under is a little rough around the edges sometimes. Like, again, I'm just harping on about Stellaris because I like the game a lot. Stellaris, if you have a robot, even, not even like a whole robot race, you just can colonize it anywhere. And if you have a synthetic race, they can just colonize anywhere, because why would you need to colonize ocean world, jungle world, savannah world, oasis world, etc., etc., etc.? It just gets too much pretty quickly. And feels a little obstructive of gameplay at that point. I actually, that raises an interesting question. Obstructive of gameplay, what exactly is it obstructing? So what is the core gameplay of this game? The core gameplay is mostly sitting, obviously, enjoying the music, the really nice sound effects, a genuinely pretty nice aesthetic. Oh, here, this finally triggered, so we got some super spuds, which Would have been nice a while ago. Yeah. Turn-based strategy games are almost too slow for my enjoyment most of the time. Because there's not any of the energy of, oh no, now this is happening and I have to deal with it. When you see something like that, like the pirates running around, it's like, oh fuck, now for the next like 15 minutes or half an hour I have to like change all these cues and hit next turn over and over and over until this is finally done and that can be dealt with it. But I can't actually immediately take any effective change that will address that problem. Yeah. Today, one of my patrols made a startling discovery. A curious, pitiful creature was found living in a windswept hovel on the edge of a great frozen lake far to the north. The universe, with its ugly forms, its soul-shuddering sounds, its perpetual downwards grasping, is difficult enough to understand at the best of times. But this creature was another level of enigma. With rags for garments, garbled speech, and erratic movements of its slender, serrated limbs, I wondered what possible worth the thing could possess. Over long, painful days, though, I came to appreciate that this creature, Anax Jink, could be very valuable to us. Although Anax Jink is a damaged soul, half mad, half delusional, its mind driven down dark, rarely traveled paths in its prolonged isolation. There are too many commas here! Although Anax Jink is a damaged soul, semicolon, half mad, half delusional, its mind driven down dark, rarely driven paths in its prolonged isolation. Period? Man, maybe all the commas are right, but it just parses weird. I found islands of clarity, even brilliance. Slowly, I learned its story. It's a member of a race called the Virus. Well, maybe race is too generous a word for the smattering of creatures scattered across the galaxy who loosely share Anax Jink's biology. The Virus, you see, are an escaped viral lab experiments, hyper-evolved by a mysterious substance called dust. Anax Jink once lived among others, a commune of Eater, on an abandoned moon. But after it stole a great haul of dust for research, they fell out and Anax Jink was banished. The Virus tells me that the end times are coming. I struggle to fathom whether its reasoning is genius or deranged, but knowing what I know of the blight destroying Kuros, I can't help but think that its words are prophetic. It is the capacity for greatness, I believe. I've forbidden anybody to mention Anax Jink's existence to the Communion back on Kuros. To begin with, comma, that was because I needed to know more before I reported back. Period. New sentence, too much time has passed for that to be true any longer, and now I must confront the truth. The truth is that the Communion are too ill-equipped to lead in this universe. They are remote and out of touch, insulated from the seeping horror of this place. How can they make the right choice when they have no experience of here? They can't. So I, the Grand Viceroy of New Kuros, will decide the fate of Anax Jink. One day the Communion will thank me for it. Now, I think you always go rogue like this. I'm fairly sure you don't get much of a choice in the matter. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure, though. So, either raise money and explore curiosity. Pretty easy to do. Colonize a new system and raise its science to 60. That's something I plan to do anyway. Or maintain a happiness of 60 or higher for 16 turns and kill it. This would give me sensory deprivation rest house, which would give me more happiness. Recruit would give me the hero. Reunite would give me bespoke architecture. So non-major population means if you plan to integrate other other species, kill if you kind of want to go purist. Honestly, I normally go recruit. I'm gonna go kill this time. This is terrible of me, but I'm like, is it possible to just purge these these pops? I could probably move them to a planet where they don't produce any food, but I think I just produce food naturally too. Um, I know I'm a terrible person, but they work so much better without other population clogging up the society. It's a terrible, terrible thing to say, but man, really? Okay, now I'm just gonna toot on the Stellaris horn a little more. Stellaris allows you to purge unwanted population from your planets. Let's see. Maybe I'm just missing this. Endless space to remove population. Oh, yeah. I guess I did get chain gang tech, huh? Oh, well. It shows what I know. You can do that, though it should be a lot more clear how to do that. Baryonic shielding. While Riftborn understanding of plasmas improve each cycle, there are particles that still pass through plasma shielding. This improved version prevents penetration by any baryon particle, primary neutrons and protons. Oh, primarily neutrons and protons. So we got scanners, which kind of makes sense here. Warp drive, which the fact that you get warp drive so early on in Endless Space 2 really guts the feel that has going on for a long time. Like, you have this geography start appealing, and then you get warp drive, which just lets you start ignoring it. Now, your ships will travel slower between system to system, but they don't need the nodes anymore. It used to be that this was a technology you didn't get until the third tier, and even then it felt too early at times. Uh, it kind of feels like a cop out. Like you committed to this very rigid structure of how to move around the space, so you commit to that. And you try to make that work well. You don't then introduce a technology that lets you just skirt around that and then make the technology available like right out of the gate. Then what's the point to having this network set up? Why not just remove it altogether? Because this kind of initially confines the players to initial bubbles of influence, but as soon as you get this tech, and like you've seen, it's only like 30 turns into a several hundred turn game, thousands of turn game. This is nothing. Now, I think, for me anyway, the gold standard to interstellar travel, doing 4x space game travel well, is Sword of the Stars, the original Sword of the Stars, not the sequel. The sequel balked. Made a lot of mistakes. But the original, every civilization traveled differently. If they used the same technology or similar technologies, they traveled at different speeds, and every civilization was played differently accordingly. In this, just about every civilization is played pretty similarly. There's some minor differences, but you're almost identical. Now, the ship fleet is almost without a doubt not strong enough to take this on, but I'm sending them anyway. Yeah, things are still building. You haven't stalled. Can I build another chain gang? I would love to. And wow, man, this should be better tutorialized, that this is how you get rid of unwanted population, not just it being something that's assumed to be intuitive, because it sure as hell is not. Chain gang, so population dropped again. You unlocked a new population collection bonus for the Riftborn. Really? So, what is that bonus? industrialists. And so industrialists just become more popular? Is that okay? And then bonus industry, and then wormhole travel consumes only half a ship's remaining movement points. Cool. Yeah, yeah, I got warp before I got wormhole travel. That's really weird. Because this is all one unique setup, there aren't going to be wormholes. Wormholes are really interesting and a good way to break up the geography of these regions. But I think that having warp in this game is a terrible, terrible mistake. It just feels so tacked on and so dismissive of the default geography that they're going for. No. Any other civilization, I'd be like, oh, hey, cool, more people. But because I'm trying to be a bit more purist, can I not though? Can I select this fleet and just delete it? Okay. So now I have to remember to purge those people as soon as they get there. And this is ridiculous that you have to use a weird gimmicky thing like chain gangs to slowly purge off civilizations instead of just like saying force them out of your borders. Like there needs to be an option for an alternative, right? Like I can enslave their entire population, but I can't banish them or exile them from my civilization. That population loss, you don't say. Yeah. Yep, keeps dropping. And there's a pirate fleet here, and it's gonna take about 100 years for you to get back over there. Yeah. Tell you what. I am going to quit back to the menu and set things so that they go a hell of a lot faster than they were. So, speed, not endless. Speed, we're gonna go fast. Competitors, I think 2. Yeah, let's have it a 1v1. Let's have the game difficulty be normal. Ovoid is fine. Galaxy tiny. Galaxy density, that's fine. Many constellations. Clustered? Nah, standard. Normal, high, normal. Yeah. Instead of Riftborn, let's go with Sophons? Yeah. Now that I actually remember how this game is played.
First to split atoms, mine asteroids, and capture the energy of the sun. First to crash their test rockets, trigger artificial earthquakes, and accidentally blow up their moon. Their great power has given them great irresponsibility. But through it, now, they're the first to create perfection. Me.
So the Sophon have a
Masters of science. They have crammed the cold, rocky homeworld of Hekim with glittering metropolises and great works of engineering that proclaim their genius. As the newest member of the Triumvirate, You face a future full of risks and challenges. But hey, that's where the fun is. More great discoveries await you in the inky depths of space.
They have this whole cyborg vibe going on. They create an AI. They're cool. For them, unlike the Riftborn who we were just playing with, food does matter. I'm not going to play too hard to that interest, but that makes them synergize a lot better with other species rather than other species just being kind of a nuisance. Which is nice, because I don't really dig the whole xenophobic playthrough. So we can start with something giving us more industry, and then more money and science, and then just more science. We can do that. So, incubator is going to be our audacious experiment, is going to be a ship for us. So you're going to go hopefully colonize something up there. Now, let's see. Ruins I can survey. It's atmospheric anomalies that I should hold off on. Yeah, okay, got some new modules. Oh, okay, just ruins here. Nice and easy. And failure. Great. Exciting. It's such a shame. It seems like they put a lot of time into, or at least a decent amount of time, having that cool little intro we just did where you hop into a system and you meet all the planets for the first time. But just because it's so damn time consuming, it doesn't seem like it's ever really worth it. And that is a theme that happens a lot. For me, at least, in playing this game, is just like there is the appearance or the effort for depth, the effort for establishing something more meaningful, but it often just comes across as really shallow and disappointing and kind of hollow. And yeah. I mean, a lot of 4X games have that tendency, just because it's such a difficult genre, difficult trope-filled genre to differentiate yourself from. But turn-based games like this really suffer from it pretty heavily. Now, what do we have here? We have an ice and a tundra planet. What are we native to? And this is something that doesn't read well at a glance either, is habitability. So we are native to a boreal world. So cold isn't that big of a deal. This is something that really should be improved at a glance. I should be able to know, okay, I can colonize these, but do I want to colonize them? And I just clicked on it, so let's hope that I do. Because, now correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong about this. I think that happiness dips as you get further from their preferred planet type. I may be wrong about that. It may be just that certain planet types have, as you're seeing, I'm hovering over this ice planet as a -5 per happiness, or -5 approval per population on it. Let's see. Oh yeah, just -1. Everything's a -1. Really? Is this a -1? No. Would this be a -1? That would be a -1. That would be a -8. That would be a -8. But those numbers, and it's great that there's these little pop-up things on the side that tell you the numbers exactly. But there should be a UI element that indicate if it's green or red, or like save you on reading that gratuitous information. Save you on just that second and a half too long from turn to turn or from section to section. When a game drags out this long, the game should really take every available opportunity and make every possible effort to reduce the amount of strain and boredom and repetition that it gets. Running an empire is a large, complex, time-consuming operation. This has been an inconvenient truth since the dawn of symphonity. One of the few drawbacks of living in a civilization as cosmopolitan, prosperous, and brilliant as ours, one always finds oneself straining for the next yawn-inducing thing. People to meet, things to do, star systems to conquer. It's enough to make one hang up one's hoverboard. One solution to this problem was posted by Arar Nadim, the proctor of future research at Rawab. Is this supposed to be like vaguely Arabic influenced? Because then I would know how to pronounce it. Pronouncing alien names is always really difficult because phonetic spelling in English is incredibly arbitrary and doesn't actually convey how you're supposed to pronounce a word. Why not get some of the stupider people to do it? Surely there's a sub-Sophon somewhere with the actually enjoys this English drudgery. Extensive and immediate ridicule she received was sufficient to change her tune. Why not? She then proposed acerbically? Just get an AI to do it then. The genius of this idea cannot be understated. The movement gained immediate traction in the High Caucasus. Budgets were allocated, the finest minds assigned to the project. In a matter of months, the Enhanced Neural Flexible Entity Research, ENFR, project was launched. Now, just a few short years later, we are ready for the final touches. Tighten the bolts and raise your receptacle, Sophons, with ENFR. Finally, a golden age is upon us. So do we inspire? Socialize. How to talk to strangers. Basics of scientific exploration. How to pick a fight. I think talk to strangers. This would give us 30% on bribe or praise actions of minor factions, which means it's a lot easier to integrate them. Sophon free move. More range, more speed, and a health bonus. That's really good. Use and lose ships. Ships are just 15% cheaper. That's really good too. Inspire, then. Let's see, no atmosphere. Yep, can't research that. What should be something terrible? Oh, titanium. Okay. It's not bad. Like, oh, you're colonizing this? Turns out it's just awful. And I can't spend anything to make it go faster. Xenolinguistics are done. Still building stuff. The game is supposed to go at a much faster pace like this, but explaining everything that I was doing was taking a hot minute. Which is kind of a shame. There's all this text, and they really try to take an effort to explain everything, but I only really find it bearable if I rush through the game at a breakneck pace. Otherwise, it just becomes too languid, which really harps on the question I've been asking. Is it conveying, is it playing well, then? Is the game actually doing what it set out to do if the way that it becomes enjoyable for me is by rushing through 30% of the content? And 30 is just an arbitrary number I picked, but point stands. If rather than sit here and read this slowly typed out, and it looks great when it slowly fans out like that, but like, I don't care. And these, most of the time, don't even relate to the text here. These are totally divorced from each other, which is immersion breaking. So if I want the immersion, I'm going to read the description and then pick cool technologies based off of how they sound. But if I'm playing the game and I want to succeed at the game, I'm going to ignore this text because this text has no bearing on the game whatsoever, and I'm just going to look at these. I'm going to then make mathematical decisions based on how these affect the game that I'm playing and pick those, rather than trying to pick technologies I personally find exciting or interesting or cool. And the fact that none of these technologies, for the most part, have immediate visual reflections in the game, that it's all completely abstracted, makes it the technology a huge weak spot for this game. Like I give very little fucks about this when I play the game. The most fun part of the game for me most of the time is once you're done researching ships and ship weaponry and colony weaponry, and you finally get your industry up and running, and you finally start getting the cool lasers or fighters or bombers or missiles that you want, and you can finally go in and make the ships that you want to make and not have to cut corners on the things that you want to plug into them. And then you can actually start seeing battles, which are pretty cool. It occurs to me I haven't even showed off any of the battles yet, and that's a shame. Like, you don't start out with the capability to really fight. I mean, you can, but you'll just die horribly because the scout ship's not equipped with anything very useful, and like you saw, I would have to research an otherwise worthless technology to get access to weapons, which, if I spend time researching this, it's time not researching things that give me more technology. And with the Sophons, with most of these races, you just want to double down on chasing down science bonuses. You want more science, so you can research things more quickly. You want more industry, so you can build the things you research immediately. You want dust, so you can buy out the things that you can't immediately build. And you want enough approval that you don't get bad events, or maybe enough that you start getting bonuses. But if you could build, like, why build a crappy ship today when instead you can just research stuff today and then a week from now research something better? And I know it falls into the classic turtling versus rushing dichotomy, but one works well in this game, in this system, and the other just doesn't. Rushing is incredibly bleh. Auriga is the setting of the Endless Legend game, so this is a neat little plugin that they integrated. I think Auriga was modded or patched into the original game as well. This garden planet was used as a biological laboratory by the Concrete Endless, with myriad experiments run on both native and alien life forms. The site of major conflict during the Dust Wars, the environment degraded and the surface of the planet was eventually covered in ice. While there are rumors and expeditions that claim to have uncovered miraculous ruins and the vestiges of great empires, today Auriga is an icy tomb. Does it actually look special? Oh, that's a shame, it doesn't. I was really hoping it would have at least the little disc that it shows up here as part of the model. This is a shame. Sometimes there are unique anomalies like Auriga and unique planets, but they don't actually have unique models to represent them in game. Now, sometimes in a colonized system they will, but in this case it looks like they wouldn't, which really sucks. This would be very worth colonizing, particularly because we're already predisposed to the cold. There's nothing to scan here, which is awkward because I was hoping it would eat up time. There we go, more science. Now, actually, I was saying that it would be... Oh yeah, there are achievements like this, which I actually think is a terrible addition to the game. This is like the wonder system from Civilization. Every tech tier, there are special quests. There are sub-quest things that you can undertake, like be the first to produce 100 dust in a single star system, legendary deeds, and if you do it, then you get a bonus. And I guess they provide interesting little ways to measure competition, like here's Creator of Wealth. Yeah, so somebody had researched 2 of these already, and they're already producing 100 wealth. And by somebody, I mean the only other civilization I'm playing against. So, yeah, it's cool, and it's an effort to keep up engagement, right? If you're giving the players more things that they feel like they should be doing with their time, they're going to feel like they need to be planning for more, trying to fit in more in the limited amount of time and actions that you give them, which kind of adds a sense of tension to turn-based strategy. But on a whole, I do feel that turn-based strategy is just a weaker genre than real-time strategy, particularly pausable real-time strategy, or real-time strategy that once you get into combat, it switches over to turn-based or tactical. This does the exact opposite. It takes the it takes the interesting tactical turn-by-turn approach of some older games where you would actually give your ships commands and just puts it on rails. And you and I didn't dawn on me until I'm talking about this and analyzing it that that's a really weird choice in a game that makes such an effort to put everything else in little boxes that let you choose and lets you spend so much time um just clicking next turn, next turn, next turn. Why on earth? They must have just streamlined combat so that it wouldn't take forever for multiplayer games, but the turns already take forever in multiplayer games, and I think if you're at a point where you're realizing, oh, well, maybe we should streamline this, you should just streamline the entire product. Granted, I don't have a great understanding of what I'm talking about, right? I am a customer, I'm a player, I'm a game designer, game modder, but I am not professionally involved in the industry. It's probably some very, very valid reasons for this genre and the appeal and the propensity of it that I am not paying proper heedance to. Heedance? Pay heedance. Yeah, it's a pay heed, I guess. Is heedance a word? It may or may not be. It sounds like American regional slang for heed. Or to heed. I'm gonna win. There's no real point to having elections this early on in the game. And elections are a very interesting thing, but even if you try to exert even minimum amount of control, it's a hand wave of how easy it is. And I know this must be infuriating, and you've probably already stopped watching if it is infuriating how I'm just clicking through things instead of reading it, but I genuinely do not find this game that immersive, just because of this annoying juxtaposition of these wonderfully and very, intentionally written out descriptions for every little thing in the game versus the effect that that lore has on the game. The lore is very much telling me about the thing, but the game is showing it, and the game is making it have real mechanical effects, and I find it really cool and exciting to think about, like, something coalescing into a protostar and eventually a planetary system. Like, that's really interesting. That's like where we came from, and that's like the foundation of every solar system, like solar system. But what does it mean in the context of this game? Not like that interesting esoteric scientific insight. Nah, it's 50 income per turn. Why is it 50 income per turn? Maybe because there's so much matter here? Because there's dust. Now, dust being nanomachines produced by the Endless, it doesn't really make sense that they'd be present in a proto system, but whatever. It's not important. Hello, pirates? Okay, so for the sake of argument, let's take you. Can I assign? No, I can't. Let's wait until you're in this system, see if I can assign the hero to this fleet, and then go have it run headlong into that pirate fleet. Oh, no, I could just have it run headlong into the pirate system. That's cool too. Cool, so you're just gonna run home. I want to show off combat. Yo, hold on. Hold on. I've played this game a lot before. Steam Cloud. Ooh, but I've always saved the local files and this is a new machine. Alright. Nope. Too bad. Yeah, I think I am going to stop streaming this once I actually get into some combat. It's a really fun game to just lay back and play, lean back and play, I guess, not lay back so much. But as far as recording and streaming goes, it really doesn't give me much to talk about. Like Paradox titles like EU4 or Hearts of Iron, I could talk about like the real history of a certain place or a certain army or the geographic importance of a certain area. But in the context of this game, I can't really, because it's all fake. And the fictional stuff that it does give me to talk about isn't super immersive and doesn't really form a strong one-to-one parallel with like why it's telling me about this stuff. And yeah, so heroes get their own little ships, which is the reason why I think this might actually be doable and it's not a terrible idea. Now let's see, can I customize your ship even more? Yeah, I can, and I will. So let's start with guns, as we do. I'm just gonna strap plasma beams on this so you're just effective all the time. Defenses, I'm a shield man. Let's see. So we have improved probes, which this isn't gonna have probes. Warp drive, which is kind of okay. Nano repair bots, which might actually be the best here. Yeah, let's just slap a bunch nano repair bots on you. Now your move speed is 6. That's actually pretty darn good, considering I haven't put anything on you. Then we're going to go to the detector here and edit this model. Weapons, same deal. Oh, this doesn't even have all the possible weapons on it. Your speed is 8. This gives you a +3? Really, your speed is that bad without this? No, you're 6 without this. Okay. So let's take this fleet and go into the fleet menu and then upgrade the fleet through the fleet menu. Instead of clicking a button on the fleet to upgrade it, you go in through the fleet menu. That's right. It kind of makes sense to organize, like, it makes sense to have the option to upgrade things here, but also when I click on a fleet, there should be an upgrade. There is one. I'm an idiot. I'm a dumb man. So it looks like the pirates they're still here. I flew past them, that's right. Still researching text, still building stuff. Nope. Now still building stuff. So anyone who actually cares about this game or plays it by themselves will see my build orders and see the way I'm building and go, oh, this guy's terrible. He has no idea what the fuck he's doing. And you're right, I don't remember because it's been almost a year since I played this seriously. And those of you who don't play this game dedicatedly, where the hell did it? Okay, they're going here. Catching fleets is kind of annoying in this game. Are going, why isn't he talking about what he's doing? Well, I'm just kind of going like, oh, okay, this gives science. I like science. Let's make science happen. And that's really about all the thought that's going into it. Oh, tech screen, because they're pirates I should research this and then that and then that, so I have slightly better ships, but I actually don't intend to keep playing this after this, as I'm gonna hop over to EU4 or something like that, where I can actually make small talk, and it's more interesting. God damn it. I'm going over here. This sort of tag is pretty indicative of what war is like in this game. You basically need small fleets all over the place or big fleets all over the place so that you can press this button which will stop enemy ships from entering orbit or exiting orbit. It's tag, though. There, okay, for some reason now we want to fight. So, if we go into watch, you select one of these cards that you want to commit to, and they have different effects. So, shield absorption, less damage, you gain back. This one is terrible, and I don't know why you would ever do this. You get 15 dust back per lost CP command point. Like you'll see, this detector too would only give me 5 or 15. Its upkeep is 6, so that only pays for 2 turns upkeep, and outright buying one of them costs several hundred. So 15 is just a drop in the bucket and not worth it in any regard. I mean, if you're gonna lose a ship, I guess it's better to lose it that way than just try to go down fighting. So this is a way to try to get some sort of return, but recycle ships if fleet not destroyed. Okay. But Turtle is pretty good. However, because I went mostly shields, power to shields is a better choice here. Now I'm going to click fight. Now what the original Endless Space did, which I liked a lot better than this, was it had cards that you could play at different phases in the battle rather than just picking one card at the beginning of the fight. And those cards would let you, like, repair, or would have different effectiveness or different effects based on what phase you played it in. But in Endless Space 2, and like I was saying earlier, this is all on rails, it just provides a minor passive buff of some variety. That's it. It looks gorgeous, and it sounds gorgeous. But it's a pretty picture. It's not like a very good novel, right? It's not super substantial. The strategy in this game basically comes down to build memorization and luck. Tactics and more short-term strategy don't play a huge effect or huge role in Amplitude Studios games, which is fine for when you're wanting to just relax and zone out and click next turn for several hundred times, but maybe. Multiplayer, I was talking about this earlier, basically just comes down to who gets their build done first and who gets luckiest with the random anomalies, which is why I've been kind of turned off to this. I wanted to pick this up because a patch just came out and it's a free-to-play weekend, so you should definitely pick this up and play it. But yeah, I'm still seeing a lot of the same issues with this game as I was seeing last year when I was playing it a lot. In multiplayer, I imagine that waiting for battles to be over. Oh, grave defeat. Oh, imagine that. Yeah, so I am gonna hop off of here and switch over to U4 because Cradle of Civilization just came out to play a little bit of that. But yeah, this is going to be my 1 year later look at of Endless Space. Really fun. Go play it. It's free for the next day and a half, something like that. Free till Monday. Let's see, Monday 6 p.m. Pacific time, I think. Free weekend. Yeah, roundabout there. Anywho, I am gonna hop off of here. I'm actually gonna be up again in like 10 minutes. BRB.